So today we have a special guest from Aspiration. We have Jessica Jackley, excuse me, the Chief Impact Officer at Aspiration. So for those who don't know, I'm the Chief Business Officer here at the Young Turks. And it was Jank and I who reached out to folks at Aspiration. There was a natural fit over there. We had Joe Sandberg, one of the founders of Aspiration, come on the show a few times. And we developed this great relationship. So I wanted Jessica to tell the audience, what is the mission behind Aspiration? Why do you guys exist? Yeah. And what is your job as a Chief Impact Officer? Because that's not a very common title to have in a company.
It's not, you're right. I think it will be more and more in the future.
Yeah.
So Aspiration exists to be the world's most sustainable, socially conscious, and ethical financial institution. And unfortunately, the bar is not that high, but we want to go above and beyond that and provide not just a safe and good place to have your money live, so that all our deposits, all our investment options are fossil fuel free, firearm free, et cetera. So they're places where I think a lot of viewers will kind of align with the values that we've set and that we hold dear and keep as our standard. So the baseline, your money's not going to be doing anything creepy while you sleep at night. Above and beyond that though, just like Brooke was saying, we provide information so that purchase by purchase, you can see the sort of the goodness as shorthand of the company that you might just have been a customer at. So you get what we call an AIM score, an Aspiration Impact Measurement score, 1 out of 100. Not everywhere, that's part of what I'm working on every day to expand that coverage. But if you swipe your card at one grocery store and then later in the day happen to go to another one and you see that one is rated, a 62 and the other one has a score of 88 on our 1 out of 100 scale, you know that the one with the 88 is better to people and planet. And so you can use that information to make better purchases over time.
Well, so that's so good. In fact, I had forgotten that you guys are working on that.
Yeah.
So that's now functional and operational?
It's been functional actually for over 2 years.
Oh, that's
but
great.
It's getting better and better every day. Yeah. And and in the next few months too, there'll be some really big new additions to sort of what we cover and what that looks like.
So Jessica,
yes.
Tell us, what is the goal for Aspiration going forward? Because most corporations, their goal is to maximize profit. That's it. Do you have the same kind of goal as any other corporation, or do you guys have a different metric for measuring success?
I mean, if I zoom out and think what is the biggest possible vision for Aspiration, I think one of the things that we can help prove out is that good business is the best business. There's not a compromise. I think a lot of people believe that there's a trade-off between doing well and doing good, so to speak, and there's just not. The data shows it. It's I think companies, in fact, that are not thinking about risk and not thinking about long-term, asking and answering questions about long-term sustainability will not win in the end. So we're thinking about that for ourselves, but the bottom line is not just profit. We care about providing information to people and sort of changing the way the everyday American thinks about the power of their spending, because it's real. I think a lot of people can assume if they're not very wealthy that what they do day to day with a few dollars here and there doesn't matter, and it matters very, very much. So I hope that we can help people feel empowered and to give them the tools and continue to help them grow the resources that they'll need to make those changes.
That's terrific. And I think I was saying this right before the interruption with the push-up contest. As Brooke mentioned, we want to know what our money is doing.
Yeah.
We just don't, right? Yeah. So if I buy something, what kind of impact does it have on the environment, on the world, on labor? I was at this YouTube event where the CNN reporter came out and spoke. She won the award for investigative journalism, and she did this great story about where I forget which metal it was, but it's a metal necessary for the car batteries for electric vehicles.
Okay.
And it was devastating. I mean, we feel good about having these electric vehicles, but the mining that's necessary to make the batteries come from Africa, and there's massive exploitation, is real problematic. And that story forced a bunch of car companies to take better measures to harvest the necessary metals in a more responsible way. But I would not have known, right? Had I not seen that particular video from the CNN reporter. No, what you guys are doing is you guys are providing that information almost instantaneously with each purchase. So that's a really powerful way of allowing us as consumers to make decisions with our dollars.
That's right. There are a lot of incredible organizations out there finding out, like doing research on these ESG factors on again, shorthand is like, how good is this company? How well are they treating the planet? How concerned are they about sustainability? And how well do they treat people, their workers, the community, et cetera? So we're working with different data providers and doing our own firsthand gathering of data and doing our own research to be able to get all this information that's really complicated and difficult to find. And it's kind of crazy making if as an average consumer, you decide that you need to take that task on yourself. It's more than a full-time job. So we try to take all that and make it in a very easy to understand system to be able to show you with just one number what that looks like.
Yeah, so one of the things that I have a hard time believing, or had a hard time believing, was how does Aspiration make any money if they don't charge any monthly fees and allow people to choose what fee they pay, if anything at all? If you guys are reimbursing ATM fees, how are you making any money? And the way Joe explained it to me is that banks make money by investing the depositor money. Aspiration does it in a very responsible way, but they still make money. Traditionally, regular banks make even more money by assessing all these fees.
That's true.
So we're so used to the greed of some of these big banks that we think that that's the norm. But I want to flip that paradigm on its head and say the norm should be for any financial institution to really not squeeze the depositor, their customers, for as much as they can, and let them also make money while they're making money.
That's
right?
true. That's true. There are also interchange fees. We can get into the weeds on that, but the thing that I want to highlight is we also have this optional fee. It's a pay what is fair fee that you set. So every month, how well do you think we're doing? Are you getting value out of what we provide? And if you are, we are built on trust, so we want our customers to trust us, and we trust them to pay something in accordance with how much they're getting out of the experience with us.
Right. And so one more thing about traditional banks that I found out that I was really surprised by. So they make
a long list.
They make a lot of money on overdraft fees.
Yeah.
And the way they, and you might say that's fair. I mean, if you take out more money than you have, they have the right to assess a fee. But the way they do it is really insidious, because let's say you have $100 in your bank account and you make a $101 charge and $5 charges. And let's say you did $5 charges first in a day. What they would do is, instead of doing the $5 charges where they don't incur an overdraft fee, and then the one overdraft fee on the $101 charge, they do that one first, the $101 charge first, so that all 5 of those $5 fees also incur overdraft fees. So now you have 6 overdraft fees instead of 1. So that's one of the things that is really, I was shocked to find out about that. But then when I thought about it more, not that shocked.
Yeah, it's true. And I have to say, it is a long list, and it actually is kind of an interesting intellectual exercise to say, what do they do and how can we be exactly the opposite? And some of the things that you see that we've designed into the experience, different features, different aspects of the products that we have, are a reaction to those things. We also, again, are trying to do things that nobody else is doing. So we give cash back on debit card usage, which is rare, and we do it based on impact. So we say, look, if the information alone is not enough for you to feel inspired to maybe, go to the other grocery store, or go to the other gas station, or whatever it is that you're going to do, if that information about knowing which business is better for the planet is not enough for you, we will literally take money out of our own pockets and pay you, give you cash back for the companies that have an AIM score of 90 or higher. So I think it's just incredibly powerful and inspiring, and it's why I'm there.
Yeah, so just, we're wrapping up now, but I just want to say that the reason why we're so excited about this partnership with Aspiration is that you guys are so much like us. I mean, look, we're a business, we're not a charity, so we need to make money. We need to drive revenue. And one of the ways of doing that is through advertising. But we don't want to work with any advertiser. In fact, several years ago, one of the oil companies wanted to work with us. They wanted us to highlight how the oil company donates a lot of money to various ocean sanctuaries. And it was like a big deal for us. And it was like $250,000, I think. And I turned it down because that's just not a good business for us to be in. So we're delighted to work with you guys because you guys are doing good. It's not only about profits. And I want you guys to succeed, because if you succeed as a model, it makes other people follow your model. And by doing good and doing well, you inspire others to do the same. And then we have a better world as a result. So for those who are watching, I want you guys to feel like if you're a supporter of TYT, it is synonymous to also be an Aspiration account holder. So go to aspiration.com/TYT and open an account. So Jessica, thank you for being here.
Such a pleasure.
What you're doing is amazing. What Aspiration is doing is amazing. Thank you again.
It's such a pleasure. Thanks.